Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a blessed and beautiful day today. So I wanted to do a few End Times articles for you today. The first one comes from endtimesheadlines.org, and it says tech firm introduces pay by face system in California City. It says another day, another step to a cashless society. A tech company called PopID is working with dozens of retailers and restaurants in Pasadena, California, to establish the nation's first dense face pay network to replace the inconvenience of using cash or credit cards. The facial recognition devices will simply allow contactless, hands-free payments at a kiosk, a drive-thru, a screen at the counter, or a tableside with a handheld device. According to Fox 5, one PopID systems recognizes the customer's face. It withdraws funds from their account and sends a text message to confirm payment. The technology is thriving as the coronavirus has dramatically changed the way many companies conducted businesses. PopID wants a way for customers to make purchases without needing contact with employees. A demonstration video that was provided by PopID even shows a customer wearing a mask during using the system. For these concerned about security measures, the company claims its facial recognition systems are opt-in only, meaning they don't try to read the faces of others using it. According to a statement from the company, PopID accounts can also tie into businesses' loyalty programs and track credit for purchases, and that it has been using loyalty brands at several regional and national restaurant chains for 3 years in order to test its technology. The company also has what is called Pop Entry technology that can also be used for workers to scan in at their jobs, and for students entering campus facilities with the device can also be enabled with thermal temperature screening as a health safety measure. In each new city we enter, we initially focus on installing Pop Entry systems in the workplace and on local college campuses, PopID CEO John Miller said in a written statement. As these communities grow comfortable using PopID to check in, we enlist area restaurants and retailers to offer Pop Pay for transactions. Going cashless is picking up speed, and this is just one more example. So with looking at the video that it provided, basically all you do is look at the screen and somehow it reads your face. And the video of the girl, she used a smile. I don't know, but they're saying that you can wear a mask while using it. So I don't know how it does that. I don't know, but that's interesting that we're entering into that. Let's see. I had another one about Jared Kushner here in a second. Let me grab that. Sorry, that took forever. This comes from the Times of Israel News. It says, Kushner on Israel-UAE deal. The stage is now set for further agreements. U.S. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, speaking alongside Netanyahu and Kushner at their joint appearance, says Israel's security remains a White House highest priority and touts American policies in the Middle East under U.S. President Donald Trump. He says the future for Israel and Arab countries has never been brighter and expresses hope the Jewish state will soon establish diplomatic ties with other regional states following the normalization agreements between Jerusalem and Abu Dhabi. May God bless Israel and may God bless the United States of America, O'Brien says. Speaking after O'Brien, Jared Kushner says it was a long and winding road to reach the Israel-UAE deal. Breakthroughs like this, he says, do not happen often and do not happen easy. Kushner lists a series of pro-Israel administration policies, including the recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital and of Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and also touts the killing of Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi and other U.S. action in the region. He says the release of Trump's peace proposal was the breakthrough that led to the agreement between Israel and UAE. There will be a lot more to come. He says the president has been writing a script for a new Middle East. Pay attention to that. I'll read it again. He says the president has been writing a script for a new Middle East starting from his first presidential trip to Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Rome. He has reversed 20 years of bad outcomes in the Middle East and built strong foundations for progress. A lot of people described the state of the Middle East as hopeless, Kushner recalls, but in the last weeks, I've felt a new sense of optimism. The stage is now set for even more agreements, he says. Okay. He adds, 4 years ago, my father-in-law asked me to work on peace in the Middle East. I've given it my all. There's still much work to accomplish, but the Abraham Accord with the UAE is a giant step forward to play a role in the normalization's deal creation. And I say this as the grandson of 2 Holocaust survivors. It means more to me and my family than I can ever express. We will continue to pursue peace between Israel and the biblical homeland of the Jewish people and its Arab and Muslim neighbors, and I have never been more hopeful about peace. Finally, says Kushner, the president has asked him to stress how proud he is of the bond he has made to restore between U.S. and Israel. Okay, that's interesting right there. Let's see, there was another one on Now the End Begins. Let me type that in, please. Just a second. Sorry, it takes forever for my iPad to load these things sometimes. Okay. Let's see. So we know that United Arab Emirates canceled its economic boycott against Israel. They have become like friends. They've joined arms, and they're kind of allowing each other to fly in their airspace and all of that. Yesterday, as the Republican National Convention ended, they had like a hologram or something of the Virgin Mary that they blessed, and the Catholics, were up there doing their thing. So it's kind of like an interfaith. We have no idea what they really stand for. They say a lot of good things. They say a lot of good words, but in the end, the Roman Catholics are the ones that are kind of have their hands in everything. There was also a guillotine that was brought to the front of the White House, I believe it was, and the protesters had a dummy that looked like President Trump, and they beheaded this dummy. And it says right here, media is silent as Democratic protesters at the Republican convention put a Trump dummy under the guillotine amid calls for his assassination. And nothing was done about it, and there was no media coverage of it. There was nothing spoken of it, and there's no arrests made for threats against the president. And then here's another one. It says, rioters behead Trump dummy. Macron calls for New World Order as we race towards an impending prophetic climax. And then today I saw a very disturbing video. I'm not going to play it for you guys. I'm sure that you'll see it somewhere around, but I'm not going to play it. But there was a video that was leaked about, there was a woman in New York, and she was trying to get onto the subway, and there was a man that tried to sexually assault her in the subway station, and instead of people stopping this man, they had their phones out, and they were all surrounding this guy, taking videos as he was assaulting this woman, and she's screaming for help. I didn't watch the whole thing. I did not want to watch the whole thing. I saw the people standing around taking videos of this happening, but I read the article below, and she was screaming for help, and nobody was helping her. They were just taking video. For what? Why are you taking a video of somebody sexually assaulting somebody? Why aren't you helping? And that's the environment that we live in today. People are being run by Satan. They're being overturned by the demons, and demons are out and about like in our face, and it's a fight against it's a battle against darkness. Literally, it's a battle that's raging between good and evil, light and dark. And, the time is coming when Jesus is coming, and he is coming so soon, and Satan knows it, and his minions are abounding, and it's visible in every day, with these riots and these protests and these murders and these killings, and they're, that the enjoyment of someone being murdered, the celebration of somebody being murdered just because of their skin color. It has turned so much that people don't see each other for who they are. They see each other for their skin color, and it's become, just hate. I mean, that just people's hearts are so full of hate and rage that it's sad. So anyways, I wanted to share those two with you. The first one, I will leave a link to the video that you can watch for the face recognition thing. That's an interesting one. I know that Elon Musk just implanted a microchip in a pig's brain, I guess, and he wants to have the ability to communicate telepathically, what he thinks that you can communicate telepathically. I don't think you would ever be able to. I don't know. I'm kind of not educated on that. But if you had like a microchip in everybody's brain, I don't know if you could talk. That's just weird. I'm not educated on that, so I don't want to speak too much on that. But he did it. He put a microchip in a brain of a, and then they also there was a scientist. Let me see if I can find that really quick. There was a scientist, or whoever he is. He made an AI Jesus, which we knew was going to come. That's how people are going to, worship the beast. They're going to worship an idol. They're going to worship, here it is. When Satan's going to make the image speak. This is what this is playing into. This is what it's coming to. And people aren't realizing that they're worshiping a person, or like a robot. They're not worshiping the God of heaven. It says an engineer created AI Jesus by feeding a natural language processing system, the King James Bible, that produces interesting and terrifying scriptures. An engineer created AI clone of Jesus by feeding artificial intelligence the King James Bible, resulting in interesting and somewhat horrifying scriptures. George Durandal used a natural language processing system to replicate the ancient words without exactly copying the text. The technology was programmed to write about 3 topics: the plague, Caesar, and the end of days. Sorry, this takes forever. I'm telling you, this is just, this is so ridiculous. Okay, let's see. In these days of trials and tribulations, many have turned to religion, Durandal shared in a blog post. But what religion is left for those who have averted their gaze from the fables of old to the shiny metal toys of today? I present to you AI Jesus, an artificial intelligence of my invention, created from the King James Bible and nothing else. The AI Jesus produced approximately 30,000 words in its scripture as of August. When writing about the plagues, the AI began the passage as such, writing, "The plague shall be the fathers in the world, and the same in my people, that he may be more abundant in the mouth of the Lord of hosts." However, the text appears to go off track towards the end, where the system begins using Lord a number of times in single sentences. And the Lord said unto him, "Sir, we know that the Lord shall swear by the Lord in the Lord." Okay, so it's saying what the thing is saying. And then pay attention to this. This is crazy. And the AI gave its own take on the topic. "And he that was dead, the servant of the Lord, came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto you that all dwell." Okay, I don't want to read the The last topic given to the AI was Caesar, who was a Roman emperor during the time of Jesus. The scribes and the children of Israel were gathered. Let's see, the AI Jesus is just one of many systems programmed to write natural language. So he's basically saying that he programmed this thing and then it kind of went off on its own. Well, how did it go off on its own? What was causing it to go off on its own? That's just the start. Now we have the Antichrist who gives power to the image to be like him, and now we can see how that's going to happen. It goes off on its own. He gives it power, and the demons are going to be, empowering this thing. People are going to be worshiping it and following it, and this is the start. This is the type of stuff that's going to start that whole thing. That was off of Daily Mail, by the way. So anyways, I wanted to share those topics with you today. I will be back later if there's more. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow. I have a topic I wanted to talk about tomorrow. So with that, guys, I love you, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day.